athletes across Texas are always looking to improve and looking to stay healthy so that they can flex their muscles out there on the field. And one organization that is helping to do that is Parker University Sports and Performance. We're here to talk with Dr. Davis McAlister of Parker University Sports and Performance. Dr. McAlister, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with something we partnered with last year with Parker University about the game-winning decision program, where we got to spotlight DFW area high schools and communities for Parker University Sports and Performance. Why was it important for you guys to get out there and do something like that?
It was kind of a combination. Got to talk to the guys when we were at coaching school last year down in San Antonio. And just a little background, I was a high school coach for 12 years. I coached football and baseball here in Texas for a couple of high schools, and was a strength and conditioning coach. And it was one of those things that, for me personally, I saw so many players that just made incredible plays and did incredible things, and I really wanted to find a way for those players to be able to get the recognition that they deserved. But also because of sometimes those games, especially with this one, because the way it's designed, we're looking at that split-second decision, that fraction of a moment neurological reflex that somebody had to have in order to be able to make a difference in a game that could determine whether it was a win or a loss, especially with the game that could be won in fractions of a second. So, and for us to be able to do that, Parker University is one of the largest, one of the fastest growing schools in the nation. I think they're ranked 20th out of several thousand schools as far as the fastest growing. It started off primarily as a chiropractic school, but we've expanded into so much. They have over 30 degree programs now that range from undergrad all the way up to doctorate level. And so I think one of the things that we really wanted to do was to get out into the community, be able to reach out more, not only show them what we can offer, but also that we support our athletes and we support the high schools in the area.
Now, we're recording this at a time where it's right before the NFL draft. I understand you've been working with a number of prospects who are hopeful to be taken, have their name called here coming up. What have you been doing with them in connection with what you do there at Parker?
So, through the month of January and February, we got to partner with a company called Sports Academy that's over at the Star. And we were going in providing support for them by providing chiropractic care and soft tissue work and those things as a recovery program for those guys that were getting their training, trying to get ready to go to the combine and prepare to be seen for the draft.
Okay, and so it kind of strikes me that, we just talked about high school kids, and now we're talking about guys who are, potentially on the cusp of playing it professionally.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, does the way that you approach these things change with the level of athlete, or is it in a lot of ways similar, whether you're dealing with a high school kid who's trying to maybe rehab a knee injury versus a guy who may be about to go make millions of dollars playing football?
It's a slightly different approach. I mean, when you've got somebody that you're trying to help as far as you'll recover from an injury, the approach is going to be different from a therapy standpoint. But when we're looking at trying to get somebody ready for that next level, that performance level, the approach is slightly different. So now we're going to look at more of their movement and how they're moving and muscular balances and make sure that everything's firing in the proper order, because again, those little fractions of a second, matter. And so if we can get them properly aligned, properly symmetrical, everything firing in the proper order, then that may make that big of a difference for them.
Now, did a little research. You played ball at Mississippi State, right? You're a Bulldog, is that correct?
Yes,
okay.
that is correct.
Do you feel like that maybe gives you a special way of understanding what these athletes are going through, knowing full well that you've played ball at a pretty high level?
I feel like I do. I feel like it gives me an advantage from that standpoint. It was really nice because one of the first guys that I got to work with in that program is a Mississippi State guy. And he is expected to go high, so I'm anxious to see how that works out.
So I get it. So you're not an unbiased source here.
No, not at all.
Not when it comes to the Dogs. Okay, I do want to ask you about we're entering summer workouts, right? Football never stops around here in the state of Texas. Summer workouts are a big thing. Guys are getting ready, preparing their bodies for the fall. What are you telling players, coaches, families, parents at this point in time on the calendar, knowing we're just a few months away from the kickoff of football season?
So just as at this point, we got to get them. Everybody's got to get as healthy as they possibly can. A lot of them are coming out of, especially with the high school. I know how the high school. I coached for a number of years, and so you have football players that they're beat up and from football season. Then they go into their recovery period. Then, as most strength and conditioning programs go, they go into their intense power mode where they're trying to get as strong as they possibly can. Now they're working into track season. There's still more potential injuries that could develop out of that. And so the biggest thing for this period right now is they've got to get their bodies healed up and recuperated, and then spend those next couple months before the season starts trying to get out, work on speed work, strength, stability, coordination, agility, just kind of put the whole thing together as they get ready to go into those skill sets for their season.
So you're saying right now may be more of a recovery mode time,
Yeah.
and then in the months leading up to the season, that's when you really start ramping up the progress.
Yeah.
Okay. He's Dr. Davis McAlister with the Parker University Sports and Performance Center. Thank you so much for stopping by and delivering your insights.
Thank you. I appreciate it.